Hey, 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 how's it going? Welcome to the Wednesday Wind Down. I am super excited to be here today. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm connecting to my AirPods.
Give me a hey boo hey. I love when you guys give me shout outs. I would like to know where you are tuning in from. Um, I just woke up from a nap. Yes. I actually napped on the beach, y'all. I napped on the beach. It was so wonderful. I want to make sure that I am connecting with all of you on Instagram as well. So you guys can start following me on IG, which is Natasha McCrae. Hello, hello, hello. Let me know who is. You have to click the button in StreamYard to let me so I can see your name, and I can't see your name if you don't tell me what's up. Hi, Joanne. What's going on? It's so great to see everyone who's been in the self-care workshop. We've been doing that all week, which is wonderful. We are on day 3. You still have an opportunity to join us if you like. If the self-care workshop will change your life, it will set you up to build that empire. It will lay the foundation for you. So I'm really excited. If you want to join us, you still can join us. If you go to loveceosanctuary.com, I know I'm saying I push all these buttons and I'm like, yeah, let me show everybody I know how to do these buttons. But this is the Wednesday wind down. So here's to you. Cheers. This is a nice French wine. It's light, more light than I normally drink. I drink usually full body Cabernets, but that one's actually really, really good. I don't know why I have my self-care notes here. This has been my little station. I am traveling and actually I'm stationary, but hi Chidel, what's going on? What's going on? You know what, you guys? I'm going to be starting a podcast, I guess a show, but it's also going to be a podcast. So if you have any questions that come up or things that you want me to talk about, definitely let me know. I want you to leave it in the comments, go down in my DMs, you name it, do it. But today I'm going to talk about getting over heartache because oftentimes we carry it with us and it's really a challenge to get over heartache, but we have to be intentional and trust the system. Since being a love addict, I had a lot of heartaches. I was one of those people who say I would rather love 1,000,000 times than never to have loved at all. And when you say that, you definitely have a lot of heartaches, but I would not trade those heartaches for anything. I would not trade them. They have made me who I am. They have helped me build Love CEO Institute and the Sanctuary and my business and help women all over the world. I was just on a clubhouse today with my sisters from Nigeria, and it was such a beautiful, beautiful clubhouse. We were talking about confidence. But today, right now, I'm going to give you 7 tips on how you can, I got my notes, how you can get over heartache. You can get over heartache. It's so important that we get over it, or we're going to carry it into our other relationships. Or you will not get into another relationship just because you've built that wall, but you carry it around with you throughout life. When you have not taken out the garbage, that's what I'm going to call it. When you have not taken out the garbage, there is a stench that is carried with you, kind of like Pigpen on Charlie Brown. And I know I'm aging myself right now, but when Pigpen's walking and there's that cloud of dust around them, that is what carrying heartache around with you looks like energetically. So number 1, when you, trust me, y'all, the reason I'm talking about this is because I've been there. I have been there. And when you have heartache, you must first just acknowledge it. I know y'all strong women out there, we may, and I say heartache, I'm not even talking about, it doesn't even have to fully be a full-blown 3-year relationship or a marriage. We get heartache sometimes just because the idea or the possibility of this person being a lifetime partner didn't pan out. and our hearts are broken because it has been a recurring thing. So acknowledge that you do have heartache is the very first step. Acknowledging, damn, that hurt, opposed to, I got this, I didn't need him anyway, or he couldn't handle me. Acknowledge that there is heartache. Acknowledge it. When you acknowledge it, that is the only way that you can take it out. If you just walking around your house and there's garbage all over the house and you ain't acknowledging it, you just gonna trip all over the garbage. Your house gonna start smelling. Your house gonna start smelling, y'all. Come on, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I've done that. How many of you have been in heartache? Just let me know. How many of you have had heartache and just kind of like brushed over it? Be like, he stank anyway. Like, you be making up stuff. I mean, it may be real, but it's like, I don't know what I was thinking about anyway, but we were really feeling this person or the idea. Sometimes it's not even the person, it's the idea. So I'm speaking to someone who might have the idea of a person as well as those long-term relationships. Man, y'all know I know heartache. One, coming from a love addict, and two divorces. Come on. It's real. And no matter how amazingly warrior goddess that you are, let's acknowledge that our hearts are tender. Our hearts are sacred spaces that occasionally get hurt. Our hearts get hurt. They really do. All right, so let's acknowledge that. You know, when you are having a challenge, or there's someone in your space that just didn't turn out the way you wanted it to be, or the idea of a relationship didn't happen, acknowledge it. Number one. Number two, accept the new normal, because nothing is normal. But you must accept that, oh man, it's Friday night, I don't have a date. Accept it. You don't need to wallow around in it like a pigsty, like the rolling around in the pig pen in the mud, talking about, oh my God, it's Friday night. You don't need to just accept it. It might hurt, so acknowledge that and lean into that, but accept it. And that brings me to the grief cycle. But let's talk about what the new normal is, because we have set up, we love systems. The human mind loves systems. That we like knowing that things are going to happen. We're not really keen on major surprises. We like to know something is going to happen a certain way. And when it doesn't, we have to be okay with that. We have to be okay that I'm accepting this in this moment, but just because you accept it does not mean that you don't want something else. A lot of times we be kicking and screaming while we're really trying to move through life to where we want to be, but we're kicking and screaming the whole time like we're 2-year-olds on our back kicking our feet in the air. We don't have to kick and scream. You can cry, have a cry fest, call your homegirl, call your homeboy, have a cry, jug of ice cream fest. Do what you got to do for self-care. I'm talking in the self-care workshop, I'm talking about different types of self-care. And in this book that I'm giving away this week, so if you guys haven't registered, stop playing. In this book that I'm giving away this week, this woman talks about there being different types of self-care. And there's for a lack of better description, white magic, gray magic, and black magic. And when we do certain things that may not be for us, that's kind of like the gray magic, like eating the jug of ice cream. That satisfies you in that moment. That's gray, because if you ate a jug of ice cream every single day, then that would be a freaking problem. But in that moment, that's self-care. Let's just call it what it is. It's okay. So I want you to, number one, acknowledge where you are. It's okay. That's all right. Accept the new normal. You know, the hard part is the kicking and screaming, because if you are just fully in acceptance, then you can deal with that thing. But if you're not in acceptance, then you're dealing with all the other drama that comes along with it. We want to eliminate the drama, but accept the challenge. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. Tell me, hey, yes, that makes sense. You want to eliminate the drama, eliminate the kicking and screaming, because your energy, your heart is broke. And the energy that you have, we want you to pour that into your healing. But if you are not accepting, then you cannot heal because you kicking and screaming. Okay? So we need to conserve that energy by eliminating the drama. Okay, so that brings me to number 3, which is understand the grief cycle. Understand the grief cycle. The grief cycle is real. It looks different for a lot of people. However, it is real. I've made something I put this up here for you guys so that you guys could download it. I have a freebie for you, and I call it divorce detox, but I'm going to start calling it divorce or dating detox. And I have an example of the grief cycle, or you can Google grief cycle and you can look and see what that grief cycle is. And I would look at that and just look at it on a regular basis, just so you know where you are. And the objective is to move through the cycle. Sometimes you might stay on a step too long. A lot of people stay on denial too long. That's one of the reasons why I feel like acknowledgement and acceptance will help you with the heartache. The next thing is cut all ties, honey. Let's talk about it. We break up with somebody, and then we be on the phone with them, or we be stalking them on IG and Facebook. We will stalk these people. We have no business. That is just going to prolong the inevitable. So I'm going to say you need to make sure that you cut all ties. Stop playing. I know it might be painful and it might hurt. Stop playing. And if kids are involved, I'm not a therapist, but I've been in that type of situation. If kids are involved, you keep the interaction minimal. You keep the interaction as minimal as possible. Just because kids are involved does not mean you got to be friends on Facebook. You don't. Just because kids are involved does not mean you got to go secretly liking or stalking the new person, if there is a new person. A lot of times, in my case, there was a new person. Thank God social media wasn't around, because I probably would have acted a fool. This was before therapy, y'all, before therapy. Because trust me, anyone who saw my one-woman show knows that I was a crazy snoopaholic. I will admit that. I used to want to be a detective. That had nothing to do with the snoopaholic part, but because I wanted to be a detective, I was damn good at snooping. I would find anything out. But you know what it did? It just prolonged the inevitable, y'all. It prolonged the inevitable. It did not feel good. It does not feel good. You must cut all ties. In order to heal from this heartache, you must cut all ties. You have to do it. There's a saying, I believe this was Brene Brown, that says there cannot be compassion if there are no boundaries. There cannot be compassion if there are no boundaries. And I usually talk about that from the perspective of, if you have someone in your life and you've not set boundaries with them, they continue to hurt you. And if they continue to hurt you, then you can't really have compassion for where they're coming from or the trauma they've gone through. So let's think about that from your perspective, from yourself. You must set those boundaries, because how can you have compassion for yourself if you keep walking into the drama territory, or if you keep walking into danger? How can you have compassion for yourself? So you must set new boundaries. That is number 5. So we have acknowledge where you are, accept the new normal, understand the grief cycle, and cut all ties. Cut all ties, and set new boundaries for yourself. Okay? So now let's talk about nurturing that heart, because you've set the boundaries. You can have compassion for yourself. Let's give yourself grace and forgiveness. Because most of the time we look at the situations that we're in and we beat ourselves up. When I was going through my healing from from both divorces, the first one, I went through a workshop at church. And the second one, I did workshops. Actually, I did so much stuff: workshops at church, workshops out of church, books. But the second one was when I began to go to therapy, like I'm going to say proper therapy. I'm not saying that church ain't proper therapy, so don't come for me, my church friends. But I started to go to proper therapy. And one of the things that I found was that I had forgiven those who had wronged me. I had forgiven, the cheating. I had moved on psychologically from that. But one of the things that was the last thing or last person for me to forgive was myself. Man, I don't know if y'all know, but for me, I beat myself up. I beat myself up for making those choices. And I didn't even realize it. It's like, oh, I'm in my healing. I've forgiven them. Yes, I'm not mad when I see them. My blood doesn't boil. I ain't been hanging out, but I'm not angry anymore. But the one person that I had not forgiven was myself. So you must forgive yourself. You must forgive yourself for that choice. Yeah. I beat myself up for years, girl. That was it. And that one, it's not an immediate thing. When you guys hear me talking about, the self-care plan and the work that I've done and where I am now, it was not something that just happened overnight. So the content that y'all are getting, the self-care plan from the workshop that you get, anyone who's in the Love CEO program, those courses that I'm teaching, loving yourself to love, that is years and thousands of dollars later that I've created these methodologies that make my life feel good. So don't think that, oh, I just happen to do this overnight. My job is to make it so that you don't have to take as long as I took. That's my job. My job is the heart of the woman next to me, so that your life can feel good, that you can put down overwhelm, so that you can lean into making loving your life a lifestyle, so that you can release the drama. Okay? It's really important. I have 8 because, I get carried away. But the 6th one is to surround yourself with positive people. You can't be around those people who be like, yeah, girl, I'm glad you broke up with him. I mean, yeah, of course. Of course, a friend sees you hurting, they're glad you're no longer hurting. But you need to surround yourself with positive people who still believe in love, positive people who believe in you taking time for yourself. Not the friend who be like, yeah, let's go out because we need to get your mind off of him. It's okay. Now, I'm going to say the quickest way to fall out of love with somebody is to fall in love with somebody else. That's a love addict statement, but it's true. I tried it. But you have to really take time for yourself. You have to take time for yourself. So surround yourself with people who are going to nurture that part of you, who's going to help usher you into your healing. So whether that is going to a therapist, whether that is having a coach, whether that is getting in a program like mine, whether that is surrounding yourself with other women in a support group, no matter what it is, you must surround yourself with other people. You do not want to do this alone. You do not want to hide, smiling in everyone's face during the day and cuddled up on the couch in the evening in tears. You do not want to do that. It's going to take you longer to heal. So you must surround yourself with other people who are going to usher you into your healing. Okay? And then the last one is take action daily. Hope is the number one killer of people's dreams and of their ideas of the lifestyle they want to live. Lack of hope, I should say. Lack of hope is the number one killer. What infuses hope? The fuel to hope is faith. The fuel to hope is faith, like knowing that, okay, I'm trusting that this thing can happen. I'm trusting that there is my life's partner waiting for me. I'm trusting God is bringing someone to me. I'm trusting that the clients that need to hear my message are there. They're out there. They're just waiting for the message. I'm trusting that this thing that God has given me inside of me, I'm going to do. But the way that you do that is take action daily, because faith is an action. No matter how big, no matter how small, you must take action daily. So what does taking action daily look like for heartache? That looks like journaling. That looks like meditating. That looks like mirror work, looking yourself in the mirror and saying, you are worthy. You are wonderfully made. There is enough love for me. I am love. Love overflows in my life. I have an abundance of love. It's spending time and physically declaring your faith. And the way you physically declare your faith is by taking action daily, whether it's calling your therapist, doing meditation, diving into deep self-care. And I mention again, because I am a firm believer in self-care. You can register for the self-care workshop, Love CEO Sanctuary, but you must take action daily to mend your broken heart. We cannot ignore time. You can't action it into oblivion. But in order to keep hope alive, you must fuel your hope with faith. And faith is an action. Download the freebie. If you just send the message and download the freebie, I have some steps in there, and it's a great guide. It's a wonderful guide. I would love to know if anyone has any questions. Love your affirmations. I'm so glad you love those affirmations. I'll have to make sure I type them out for you guys. But this is how you can get over heartache. I need you to share this message. There was someone sitting at home who's been out of that relationship for 2 years and is still heartbroken. And they need to understand that they can heal themselves. I want anyone who hears the words that are coming out of my mouth to know that you can heal your heart. You can heal your heart. Does that make sense? You are the warrior goddess that you are. It is time that you fight for your right to love. That's so funny. I feel like fight for your right to party. Yeah, fight for your right to love. So those are our 7 ways for you to get over heartache. Share this with your friends. Share this. Tag your friends in this comment. Sign up for the workshop. Oh, I'm so glad, Joanne, that this resonated. I'm so glad that this resonated. And I know there are so many other people who might not even be looking online and they're discouraged, but share it with someone. Copy this link, send it to them in a text if you don't want to tag them below. But they need to hear this. And you can be that person who stands between your friend's healing. So share that. I would love to see you guys in the workshop this week. I love you. And if you have any questions about my new show that's coming up, I'm going to be doing hot seat coaching on the show live, y'all, live. It's all going to take place in the sanctuary. But go down in my DM, ask any questions, send me any questions that we will record those and keep those in a file. I scrolled right in when you said grief, and I'm dealing with that now. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad, Candace. I'm so glad you came right on time. I'm sending you so much love. I'm sending you so much love. Yeah, grief is a big thing. It's a big thing. So I love y'all. Your heart is yours to hold on to hold and caress and usher into healing, to love. Your heart is yours. Take care of it. All right. Having a wonderful evening. Bye.